Hello?
Hey, I'm sorry. I have a house full of grandchildren right around here.
Oh, okay. Well, Holly's thing is coming up pretty soon. I just wonder what you got in mind.
Oh, Monday?
Yeah.
I was going to show up and watch the crap show.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I seen the last papers that was served on that, and they're just more insane than all the rest of them.
well, you said you was going to testify on Holly's behalf last time I talked to you.
Do what?
Last time I talked to you, the last couple of times I talked to you, you said you was going to testify on Holly's behalf.
Oh, well, I would love to testify on Holly's behalf, but I don't know what I'm going to testify to. I'm not going to testify that I forced her to get married. I'm not going to testify that I forced her to work at Dodge Store. I'm not going to testify that Chase did any of the horrible, rotten things that she continues to say that he is. You know,
well,
I'm not going to testify that Jeremy has any sense at all.
Okay. Well, you told me.
I will testify that I love her.
Well, now when we were talking, I asked you if you thought Holly deserved all this, and you said no. Was that not true?
No, she don't. She don't.
Well,
she don't. But she is now. She is doing this. I don't understand how she's doing this to us. I can't stop crying. I've been crying for almost nonstop since this started.
She's been put into position to do this. Wendy, why can't you see that? She's been put in that position.
Jim, listen. I want you to know this one thing. This one thing. Chase did not kick that wall and from the hole in it. Romy said so. Romy.
That's not.
Jeremy psychically dreamed about this when he was a kid.
Okay.
Now, Jeremy has called police on me. He's called the police on Ashton. He has called the police on Holly. Now, I want you to picture this. Chase and Jeremy and Holly's in the house. We know that Jeremy yells at the kids nonstop, and Holly doesn't stop him. He drills them for hours. He drilled Chase for 3 hours. Holly contested this. She told me this. They questioned him for 3 hours, so he admitted to doing something. So,
okay.
Chase is 13. He's going through all these changes. How long do you think it was going to be before Chase bowed up on Jeremy? It got in his face. You know what Jeremy was going to do? He's going to call the police. You know where Chase would be right now if we hadn't pulled those kids out? He would be in juvie. I promise you.
You're speculating. Now, won't you?
No, I'm not.
Let me.
I'm not. No more than Jeremy is. That's for dang sure.
Let me do some talking here, because you do all the talking.
Yeah, okay, I know what.
Okay. Now, you told me when I talked to you, you thought Holly was a good mom.
Yes, she is.
Okay. And all of this is making her appear to be a druggie or a drunk or whatever, an unfit mother, and that's not true.
I've never said that. None of this has ever been said. When she went to court to get her kids, when they went to court to get her kids, all Jeremy had to do was say, you know what, yeah, I yelled. I'm sorry. I do have a problem there. You know what, I'm going to work on it. I'm sorry, Matt. I yelled at Chase. I made Maddie scream like she was dying. I'm sorry. You know what the judge would have done? Sorry, guys. People yell at their kids. Get over it. It's no big deal. You know, that's not what he did. You know, Holly started accusing me of forcing her to marry Matt before this ever happened. She accused me of forcing her to work at Dodge Store before this ever happened. Not that I could care less about it. That's just stupid. But now she has got into her head, and they're both mental.
Well, you were just talking about Chase rebelling or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now listen. What about Matt and his wife coaching those kids to undermine Jeremy and thinking that he's a bad person? They told those kids this, that don't listen to him. He's a bad person.
Well, me and Ashton came to that decision without any coaching from Matt and Kristen or Chase and Maddie. Me and Ashton, two very, and Rick and Tony, three very intelligent adults that know a lot. And I didn't have Chase and Maddie and Kristen and Matt talk to me. I've never, ever in my life conspired with Matt on anything.
Well, you said that he deceived you into this.
No. At one point I felt bad because I thought that they would try to do some bad, but I realized now that Jeremy would have Chase in jail. He called the police on Holly. You know why? Because she was in bed. She was depressed. She was upset. And he wanted her to get her lazy ass out of bed and go Christmas shopping with Romy, his daughter, while she didn't have her own children. And you know what he started doing to her? He started screaming at her, just like he did Chase, just like he did Nettie, screaming at that poor girl while she's laying in bed crying, missing her children. He wants her to get up and go Christmas shopping. You know what she did? She kicked him in the gut. And if I had been there, I'd kicked him in the gut also. And he deserved every bit of it. But you know what he did? You know what that pussy did? He called the cops on his own freaking wife. You know? I'm sorry I'm yelling at you, but I'm so upset. I've been crying nonstop for like 48 hours. I need to scream at somebody. It's Jeremy and Holly's fault. It's Jeremy and Holly's fault.
And you think Matt and his wife is a better parent?
No, that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about.
When his wife is hitting...
This is about Jeremy being crazy. This has never been about Matt being better than Holly. Never. This has been about Matt choosing the children or Holly choosing the children.
Okay, let me say something. Quit cutting me off.
I'm sorry. I am sorry.
As long as Matt's been married to his wife, Maddie's been complaining about her hitting her. Has she not?
No, not that I know of. I know of one time.
Well, Holly has
told me about that.
Well, Holly has told me. Me and Holly has talked.
I'm not saying that's not the truth. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I was unaware of that. Holly told me, and then Holly took care of it. Because Holly is a take care of kind of things kind of person. She's never been the kind of person that would have let a Jeremy step in and ruin her life. That's not the kind of person that she's always been. And I told her if she got a lawyer and, you know, do the right thing, I would say what they need to be said. But, you know, there's nothing I can say. Because her papers say that all these horrible things. Her papers, she has got a restraining order against me. She won't even see her own children. You know that Chase's voice is changing right now? His little voice is changing into a man, and Holly's missing all of it by her own choice. By her own choice.
It's not her choice. If it was her choice, the kids would be with her every other weekend like they used to be. Right. That was her choice.
She did this. She's the one that started making up these lies about me and making up lies about Matt. Her and Matt have never been enemies. You know, Matt's always been an ass.
And he's been underhanded. He's underhanded and dishonest.
He's no more underhanded than Holly and Jeremy. The only lie being told right now about Holly and Jeremy. I mean, I apologize for that. But that's the only lie being told. That's not lying. You know, I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to tell any lies because Jeremy makes the whole case for them. You know, what do they want me to say on course? If they think I'm going to look and say something nice about Jeremy, I can't do that.
It's not about...
I have a sanity to protect. You know, I'll say anything good about Holly, except the fact that I have to say that she is completely lying. You know, that's not going to make her look good. Because I'm not going to get there and lie and protect them when they're ones trying to destroy everybody's life. They destroyed mine and your life now. They destroyed mine and Tony's life. They destroyed Ashton's life. They destroyed Chase and Maddie's life. You know, now they're destroying Romy's life.
Who's the one that filled these papers out and started taking them to court? Who's the one that did all this?
Jeremy.
Okay.
Jeremy has sent off, 15 to 20 papers?
After
nonstop gibberish?
After you had signed them papers with Matt. Yep. It all started right there.
One piece of paper that said...
That's all it takes is one.
I'm sorry. Jeremy is evil. And he does not need to be around Chase and Maddie. That's his own doing. If he wants to sit there and spur Holly against her own family, you know, Holly doesn't even... She's not even sure about you anymore. That's what she's telling me. You know, she's not even sure about you anymore. So,
Well,
and Jeremy will have her spend on that in no time. You know, I don't know what to do.
well, you need to get up there and tell the truth about Holly being a good mom, and this is being unfair to her.
She's always a good mom. Yeah, she's always. And I told the lawyer that. When I went and talked to that lawyer, I told him, I said, Holly's always been a good mom.
The lawyer don't care. All he thinks is what's going in his pocketbook. He'll lie about anything. You know that.
Yeah, the lies that are being told is by Jeremy and Holly.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Did-
and she don't even want Chase. She don't even want him.
Did Matt tell you
That's
about?
what her papers say.
Did
No,
Matt-
that's what the papers that I've read with my two eyes say. You can call Sandy and ask her what papers, because I sent all the papers to her. She don't want Chase because he is evil. You should hear the stuff that's in those papers.
What does it say, Wendie? What does the paper say?
It says that Chase is he's a thief, he's a liar. You want the paper? I can read it to her. What else does it say about it, Tony? He's a rapist.
Who did he rape?
Defiant disorder. He's manipulator. He destroys property. He hits dogs. That's what her paper says. That's what her paper says about her 13-year-old son, whom she would have laid down her life for. But Jeremy has her so twisted. But that's what they put in the papers. That's what the latest papers. I can send them to you so you can read them. I'll send you the last set of papers. Does your phone get pictures?
Yeah.
I'll send you this last set of papers, and you can read what she is standing beside her husband to say about her children. And that's not even what it says. She doesn't want Chase. She was yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, she doesn't even want custody of Chase. She doesn't even want custody of Chase. Jimmy, why does she do this? She was a good mom. She don't even want her son because of what Jeremy's done, because he's a liar and a manipulator. I think he's just psychotic. There's something wrong with him.
I believe that too, Wendie.
It's true. Holly would never do this.
I do
But
believe
they can
something wrong
sit
with
there
him.
and make so. Neither one of them has a job, and they won't get a lawyer. And now she doesn't want Chase. You know how much therapy it's going to take to fix all this?
I agree.
And all I ever said to her is, I said, one time when I was trying to have a conversation with her, trying to get her to have some sense, I said, just separate from Jeremy. You don't have to get a divorce. Separate. Have him get therapy. You get your children back, and then make a future. Then you guys can work on your marriage, work on his therapy, and get back together. That's what I said to her, not the more lies. Every word I ever say to her, they twist into some lie in these papers. It is every word they speak is a lie. Even Holly, I mean, all the stuff she said is lies.
Hey, Wendie.
Yeah.
I know that they said Jeremy needed a little bit of therapy before he came back to court. Has he gotten it?
He has to get a psych exam.
I know. Has he gotten
I
it?
don't know what kind of psych exam he will get. I talked to his mom the other day, and at that point he had not done it yet. But I don't know, depending on what kind of psych exam they get, he could probably pass it, I can imagine. But,
What does his mother say about his background? His mother.
Well, she would not say anything bad about him, besides that she's upset with him right now she said his personality's changed since he got fired. I told her, I said, Holly, this is not Holly. I said, Holly loved her family, loved her children, and, cherished Chase. I said, but since she met Jeremy, she's changed. Her personality has changed. I said, you can look at my Facebook, there's proof right there that we was a family that loved each other, Holly left me notes at the manager station saying, Mom, I love you so much. You're the best boss mom I've ever had. She's had friends come up to her and say, hey, Holly, how come you're not going off to do something different? You got your degree now. Are you going to do something different? And Holly said, oh, well, I'm good right now. I'm good. I never forced her to stay at Dodge Store. That his mom, what she believes that I forced Holly to get married at 17. You know, she believes that I forced Holly to work at the drugstore her whole life. And she believes that Chase is this mean, hateful, vindictive child, because that's what Jeremy and Holly tell her. You know, she believes what they tell her. You know, she was there the day, you know, Jeremy called the police on his own wife. You know,
Is she going to be at court Monday? The mother?
I don't know. If it don't involve Romy, she may not come, because she's the only reason. The only reason she even spoke to me the other day when I called her was because of Romy. You know, because now she don't get to see Romy, and I feel bad for her. I feel bad. I felt bad for Jamie. I spent a whole day with my heart hurting for him when they lost Romy.
Wait. Do what?
Deb, you know all about that.
Jeremy tried to get custody of Romy, like to take custody away from Sam. You know, Sam has been letting him see her. She hasn't been fighting it, even though she knew all this kind of crazy stuff was going on. You know, so she's just been, you know, Jeremy's been being a good dad. No reason for her to rock the boat.
What is Sam's real name?
About her. See what?
What is Sam's real name?
It's Samantha something. I don't know. When I send you the papers, you'll see it because it's in the papers.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just wondering what.
You what?
I mean, of course, you're going to get called on the witness stand probably, so I just wonder what was going on.
When they can call me, I'm just going to tell the truth, and I'll pray about it before I go. I love Holly. I want her to have her children back. Of course, I mean, I'll just be honest with you. The judge and the lawyers, all the ones up there that are looking at Jeremy and telling him he needs to get a psych exam, they're not going to let any children go around him. I doubt they let Romy go back around. I mean, I'm sorry, but there's no way they're letting any kids around him. When they read all the psycho-babble BS that he puts in his lawyer papers, it's insanity on paper. It's proof on paper. That's the only reason Holly lost her children, was because of Jeremy's psycho BS he put in those papers. Had nothing to do. Well, it didn't have anything to do with the fact that he yelled at Daddy. It had everything to do with his psycho BS. That's all. You know?
Well, the yelling, that's rough. But,
the yelling is a big deal. Big deal.
Well, we've all done it. But anyway, there ain't nobody a perfect parent, but still. You know.
Well, I agree. The yelling is not that big a deal. It's just that she's crazy. And they're both liars now. You know, Holly didn't used to be a liar. She is now.
What does Holly lie about?
Well, do you think that I forced her to get married at 17, 5 months pregnant, 5 months after she got pregnant?
I do know you said you would rather her be married.
No, I said she could not move in with Matt, which is what most women 30 years ago, 15 years ago, would say to their daughters. That's just where we were. You didn't move in with somebody. I said, I didn't want you to move in with someone you didn't want to marry. That was her choice. But I said, you'll move in with a girlfriend. You can live with me. You don't have to go anywhere. But I told her, no, you can't move in with Matt. Now, she could have still done it. Like I could have stopped her.
Well, that stuff like that has, that's got nothing to do with this.
Hello, Jimmy. Hello. That's exactly what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with this. That's why they don't have their kids. Because all they want to do is fight. To put me in jail, to put Matt in jail. And all they can think, and Ashton. That's all they care about. They don't care about getting the kids back.
Why is Holly now getting mad at Jimmy?
See what?
Why is Holly now getting mad at Jimmy?
Just because I guess he said something like he was a little uncomfortable with Jeremy now, that he didn't exactly understand where he stood. And that's all I know.
Wait a minute. Repeat that. Go slow, though. Repeat that.
Like, I'm trying to think how Holly said that Jimmy said to her something about, like, he wasn't sure how he thought about the, like, was Jimmy supposed to go to court that time for them or something, and he didn't? I don't know. I really don't know, because Holly ain't talking to me. But she did talk to Sandy. And Sandy said that Holly was, not comfortable with Jimmy now either.
Really? Her own father?
That's what she said. And Sandy's not a liar. And she ain't got no reason to tell me nothing like that. It's not going to make a bit of difference.
Right.
I love you guys. I love Jimmy. I love you. I love Holly. I care for Jeremy. I want him to get his psycho nut crap figured out. I would love for them to live together happily ever after. But there's something wrong with him.
I agree, Wendie.
Jimmy, if you had seen some of the actions and some of his physical demeanors the way that I have the last little bit, with just body actions and the way he looks and the way he talks and stuff,
Yep.
if Kirsten was involved with somebody like that, my daughter was involved with somebody like that, I would be very concerned. He's crazy. He's crazy. And in court the other day when we went to court, he can't even communicate well enough to get the judges to try to even listen. He won't shut up long enough for them to hear what's going on. And so the judge finally just has enough, and they give the ruling to whoever the other person is, because they can't deal with him. He's crazy.
And that's where the psych
They
belt.
wouldn't let us leave the courtroom without the police says he went off so bad. They wouldn't even let us walk to the car without a police officer walking us.
Well, I know he's done some paperwork that should never been done.
Yeah,
I agree. I'll agree
I
with
know
that.
that's the problem. It's all the stuff he's done has ruined everything. And somehow he's convinced Holly that all this is awesome and all this is good, and that this is the way things really are in the world, that her mom is evil, that obviously, he may not say it, but you would let me do that to her, so I don't know what that says about you. If you would let me force your daughter to get married, if you would let me force her to stay working at the Dodge store against her will after she has a degree, I don't know what that says about your kind of parenting either.
Well, we work together then, so how would I know what you were telling her?
You're an adult. You're still her dad, right? If she came crying to you, Mom's forcing me to do this, would that have happened?
She never did tell me that.
Well, of course you did. It's because it didn't happen. It's crazy. I told Holly she didn't have to get married. I didn't care if she married Matt or not married Matt. I didn't want her to be pregnant, and I didn't want her to get married. I was super proud that she wasn't having an abortion. I thought that was beautiful. I was super happy. And I told her, I just did enough after getting pregnant. Pushed in, if we just want to go by Todd's rules, that's not the order we do things in. She shouldn't have been having sex, but, it's happened. I'm not pleading innocence here either. I never have been. But as a mom, my advice to my daughter at the time was to not move in with a guy you don't want to marry. If you don't want to marry him, then don't move in with him. Now, later, when they decided they wanted to get married, 5 months later, 5 months, so it took me 5 months to force her to get married, or 5 months for her to, be struggling as a teenager and decide to get married. I understand all that. I understand it sucks. I do. I feel bad. When you see her and Matt together, they giggled and they laughed and they had fun. Yes, they were both way too immature to get married, especially Matt. And then Holly threw herself into college and to work, and that's what happens. I mean, life happens.
Yeah, he took he took most of her college money to buy motorcycles and 4-wheelers and trade trucks every 6 months, buy guns. That's for her.
I agree. But the only side of the story I had never heard before, I never heard Matt's side of the story. And the other day, just real quick, not like I was sitting having a long conversation with him, he said, well, Holly was never home. She was working second shift, she was in college all day, and she didn't want to be with me. So, I'm not defending him. I know that sounds like it, but I'm not. I'm just saying that, we only hear one side of the story. And I always sided with Holly only, and I still do.
Well,
I still only side with Holly.
even now,
I side with Holly getting her children back, not just Maddie, her children.
even now, he's still taking money from Holly. The last 3 years, he's been using Holly's interest off from her house to file on his income tax. She just found out about it. The last 3 years.
Yeah.
So
That's correct.
he's not an honest person either.
No, he's not. I mean, he's always been, financially not a good person to go to work and stuff like that. But, he does have both of his children at home right now, and he wants both of them.
Well, yeah,
Only wants them.
I'm sure he's a perfect dad now. But
I agree. I agree that he's better.
Holly's the one that took those kids to their games and after school events and paid for them.
I know. I said all this.
He wouldn't do it.
I agree with all of it.
But
I agree.
Because Chase was over here, and Chase was telling me that he asked his dad to buy him a $15 earphones. He refused to, but the same day bought his wife's daughter a $300 dress.
Yep.
The same day. And Chase
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
He was upset.
I am not here to defend Matt. I'm not. That's not what this is about. I'm not defending Matt. I am not defending Kristen.
He was upset, though, Wendy. He was mad.
Yeah, I just said that.
I bet. I would have been too. It was wrong. It's just like that. It's wrong. I don't want to say all this stuff that Holly and Jeremy have done. It's just awful. But Jeremy is psychotic, and he has made Holly psychotic. Now, I don't know. Maybe Holly was a little bit more psychotic than I realized when they got together, and some of that came out. I don't know. But all I know is that they are telling malicious lies and taking them to court. Lies. I didn't lie about anything. I've not lied about nothing. Jeremy was tearing our family apart before any of this happened to the children. He was screaming at Holly. So she said, it felt like her ears were going to bleed. Mm-hmm. And I said, Holly, y'all you don't have to stay together, if you want to stay with him.
That is true.
So they stayed together. And then he started screaming at her children. He took her house and sold it. Instead of selling his Matchbox, he sells the family size home that she has. You don't think that's a little weird? He fixes up her house, moves his ass in there without even her asking him to move in, and just starts living there and fixes her house all up with your help and her credit cards. He didn't spend his money, and then promises her a beautiful house in Brooklyn where Chase is going to have his own bathroom and bedroom. And then you know what he does? As soon as they sell the house, oh no, we got to pay off these credit cards first, honey. And they move her into this 2-bedroom Matchbox house that he goes crazy in, she goes crazy in, and poor Chase goes crazy in. He starts talking to Chase like he's Chase's dad when he hasn't even told Chase that they're married. So Chase is getting trained up for what he thinks is his mom's boyfriend.
Right.
And Chase is 12, going through some pretty crucial times. She's trying to drag him out of school, make him quit football, make him pull away from everything that he's loved. And then she walks up there to his face and tell him how horrible his dad is. She can tell me how horrible Matt is. She can tell Jeremy. She can tell you how horrible Matt is. And she has no right talking bad about Matt to hurt his children. That's wrong.
Yes, it
Children
is.
don't deserve that. Chase, you know, he did. Of course, he got defensive. He loves his dad. All kids love their dad. It doesn't matter what kind of piece of shit their dads are. They love them. And that's how Chase was supposed to be. Chase reacted like a normal child, like a child going through a stressful situation. Jeremy, on their hand, acted like some shameful person, turning Holly against her mom, who she seen we had this wonderful relationship, turning her against her sister, who was her best friend, now turned her against her son, that she would go out on mother-son dates with. She loved Chase. She loved him. Is Chase perfect? No. Did he smack Maddie? I'm sure he did. I'm sure they did. I've seen Maddie. Have you seen Maddie push his buttons? That does not mean she deserved to be smacked. But it happens. Kids do bad things. When she told me that she was leaving Chase and Maddie at home by themselves without a babysitter, I was not happy. And I did not like it. I did not like them being at home by themselves. They need to have a babysitter. They should have been at my house or something. But that's what she chose to do. She did. And then Holly, on the other hand, acted like some shameful person, turning Holly against her mom, who she seen we had this wonderful relationship, turning her against her sister, who was her best friend, now turned her against her son, that she would go out on mother-son dates with. She loved Chase. She So guess what? Maddie smashed Chase's electronics and Chase smacked her. All that was bad and it was wrong. But it was only her fault. You know?
Children do fight and argue.
Exactly. Exactly. So do we want to demonize Chase over it?
No.
You know, my sisters, when they were little, when I shouldn't have, and I feel really bad about it. Heck, I spanked Ashton and Holly at times when I shouldn't have spanked them. You know, I've done bad things. But you know what? I didn't go say, well, Jimmy's being so mean to me, that's why I had to hit my kids. It's all Jimmy's fault. Did I ever do that, Jimmy?
No.
Okay. Well, that's not how I do it. For all the mistakes that she's made in her life, and we've all made some, hers are no worse than mine, no worse than anybody. But when Jeremy came along and started pointing all hers out, when she couldn't handle any more of his screaming and scrutinizing of her, she started to blame everybody else. Me, and then Matt, and now Chase. You know what? She can blame me in that. I could care less. But she's blaming Chase for 13-year-old little boy. And Jeremy is writing demonizing things about this child in official paperwork.
Yeah, I
and
think
putting it in the court.
He's a bad seed.
You know, it's one thing. Jeremy wants to go after Matt. Matt wants to go after Jeremy. You know, I could care less. Let them battle it out. If they want to put this little child through this, Holly wants to put her own child through this. I don't know what to do. You know, I can't defend that. You know, I can't defend it. You know, there's nothing in these papers saying why they should have the children. The only thing in these papers is demonizing everyone else. That's all that's in their papers. That's their whole court case. Everyone in the world has failed her.
That's not good.
So she should have her kid. I know you think it says that. So she could, obviously it says she only wants Romy and Maddie. She doesn't even want Chase. You know why they don't want Chase? Because Jeremy don't want Chase. Because Chase didn't take his BS. He didn't let her scream at him.
Hey, Wendie, I want to say something. Yeah. I also believe in my heart that eventually, which is coming true, Chase is going to be a man, and Chase is big right now, big boy. And eventually, Jeremy probably thinks, you know, in the future, he'll knock me on my ass.
Exactly. Chase is that big now.
Well, what I'm saying is, eventually, he's going to be even bigger. He's going to tower Jeremy.
Yep.
And then eventually, he will knock the shit straight out of Jeremy. And I think Jeremy's afraid of that. I think that has something to do with it.
Jeremy was going to call the police. And Ashton said, please listen to parents. They don't listen to spoiled kids who don't have their cell phones. And they take those kids and they throw them in jail. In case of had a record, he'd already put his name through crap in legal papers, so he would have Chase behind bars, just like he wants me and Matt behind bars. You know?
I'm just saying that Jeremy eventually might get his ass whooped by Chase because Chase will have enough. I mean, it ain't going to be long before that boy's 18, and he's already a big boy.
Yep. And he's a football player. Yeah, I know. Jeremy's afraid of everybody. He can't come talk to us to our face. He couldn't go talk to Matt to their face. Matt did the same thing. They all should talk this out. But when I talked to Holly, trying to get her to work together as a blended family, all she could do was use curse words and tell me how horrible Matt is, and then, of course, proceed to tell me how horrible I am. Never trying to work it out. Never trying to do what's best for the children. Just trying to take just something was insane. You know, that God told them to do. You know,
hey, Wendie. Speaking of blended, we are all blended. You and Tony, me and Jimmy, you know, the kids, Steph or not, we've all gotten together and had a blast.
Yeah, your kids come in the store and call me mom.
I know.
Your kids hug me. Your grandchildren come in there and hug me. You come in there and hug me.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what it's supposed to be. And that's what I try to teach Holly. You know, that she doesn't have to like that. She doesn't have to like Kristen. You know, and I'm not asking her to hug Kristen by all means. That's never what I was trying to get her to do. But, you know, to act decent to one another.
Well, when you've got a blended family, you have to be. It's for the best interest of the kids.
It's all about the kids.
That's what I'm saying, Wendy. My kids love you. Your children love me. We all get along. You know, we've all been in the same room more than an hour. Ain't never a fight or a bad word ever been done.
And that's because we tried. It's because me and you tried.
Yes, ma'am.
We didn't sit there and, cherish the fact that, that we had to be divorced and remarried. That was never fun. It's not fun looking at
But
your
we
past.
all got along. We all got along.
That's right, because we chose to.
Yes, ma'am. We chose to. Exactly.
And out of mutual respect, and I always wanted Ash and Holly to love their dad, and yet they had no reason not to. It's not like I said, but we could all make up lies, just like Holly's doing right now. We can make up lies about these people to make our kids hate them. And that's not what we do. That's not right. Or to make them side with me, like I'm not the guilty one. Your dad did this, your dad did that. That's silly.
Well, I even told my children, now that I'm married to Jimmy, I said, you will respect Miss Wendie. Oh, yes, ma'am, Mom. Yes, ma'am.
And they did. They were always good to me. All your kids have been very sweet to me, and my kids have always been sweet up to me up till Jeremy. Sometime in July, after some picnic, I invited them to be with us. I admit it. I want to spend time with them. I work a lot of hours, so when we have time off, I like to see them from time to time. And Jeremy started spewing all this bad stuff about me, like I was trying to do something mean. And at that point, Holly was still defending me, saying, no, that's not what she meant. She was just saying she wanted to see us, that's all. And then from then on, he's just been twisting everything he can.
How do you, honest to goodness, think this is going to happen, Wendie, at court, in your heart?
Well, I think it's going to be short. I think the judge is going to be mad at Jeremy. He's going to laugh at all this crap, and he's going to throw it all out. And I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if Holly and Jeremy even have a plan of attack when it comes to getting the children back. I see nothing on paper that shows that they want their children back. All I see is hatred. All I see is hate. Hate, hate, hate.
And it's written in stone.
Yeah. All there is lies. Just all kinds of insanity, and it's just ramblings. I'll send you these next few pages. You're just gonna fall over when you read it, because it's just such crap that it's written in these papers. And yes, Jeremy wrote it, but Holly put her seal of approval on it. Holly's doing all this too. I don't understand. You know what she did? Holly. She's talking to Sandy. Sandy's, of course she's stressed out. She wants me and Holly to be back together. She wants our family fixed because she just loves all of us so much. She asked about you and Jimmy every time she called.
She asked about me also?
Yes.
Good.
She did. Several times. I told her about how you came to Dodge and spoke to me. I told her when you was walking and when things were better. Yes. And Sandy is for all of us. She is for love and for family. Now she gets a little mad. She's not real happy with Matt and Jeremy right now. I agree.
Yeah, I've never been disrespectful, ever.
No. She agrees. She knows that Holly was, really upset, and Sandy said, Holly, come down here with me for a week. Come spend some time with me, clear head. And Holly said, you really don't care? And Holly went down there. And the first thing that Holly said to Sandy, Jimmy, I want you to hear this. The first thing that comes out of her mouth, and she tells Sandy, and Jimmy probably knows Sandy is always worried about her weight. Always, I'm so fat, I can't lose any weight. Holly tells her that I fat shame people all the time.
That you what?
She tells Sandy when she gets in the car. She says, well, Mom fat
Wendy, repeat that other one. She said what?
That her mom, Wendy, fat shames people.
Oh, fat shamed. Fat shamed, okay.
Yeah, fat shamed people. And my sister is, she's fat. I don't see her fat. I see her beautiful and thin. I don't ever see one little dimple on her whole body. Her skin's beautiful. It's actually dimple-free. And that's what Holly said to Sandy. She found what she thought would hurt Sandy the most. Sandy, who's going through chemotherapy. Sandy, who paid for her to fly down there and visit with them, and paid for her to be there a week with her family. And Sandy said she spent the first half of the week, bashing me, And then Sandy defended, and then Holly would give in. Yeah, you're right. And then she started defending me. And then by the end of the week, she was completely bashing Jeremy. But
Holly
Sandy had a chemo treatment that put her down for the last 2 days. She was so sick she couldn't even do nothing. And Holly spent that time with Jessica. And in that amount of time, she literally turned Jessica against her mom and dad.
No, ma'am.
Yes, she did. And then Jessica had this conversation with Sandy. Says, me and Jesse never speak on the phone. They was on the phone for 3 hours. And then after that phone call and the things that Holly had put in twisted in Jessica's head, Sandy didn't speak to Jessica for 2 days. Now, they're all made up, and everything is fixed. Sandy fixed everything. But not before she made Jessica suffer for 2 days without getting to hear her voice because she was so upset. And that's what Holly, my precious, sweet Holly, did to Sandy, who was going through chemotherapy. Sandy caught her several times trying to record them because she was down there trying to get Sandy to testify against me. You know, sorry. You know, there's a lot of crazy things going on in the world, but that's not happening. That's what Holly was there for. Sandy is trying to get everyone to get along. Sandy sent text messages to Matt and to Jeremy and to everybody saying, hey guys, let's sit down at the table. Let's talk this out. Let's drop all this court business. Let's just make our family. You know, none of them was interested in that. Sandy wanted to come down here and do it, but she's too sick. She has, you know, cancer, and she's not allowed to leave because she could catch something and die. She was willing to do that.
It's stage 3, ain't it?
They wouldn't do it. Now, Jeremy had conversations with Sandy via text and everything else. At first Sandy was really mad at me about the court thing. And she said it was wrong. She said, I understand that you did what you think was right and that you was telling the truth. She said, I understand that's your truth. But now, Sandy says, she would not let her children around Jeremy ever, based on the conversations she's had with him and the things he said to her. And Sandy only does things out of love. Sandy, you know, that's what
she's a good woman.
Person than me, less better person, you know. She don't hate people. And right now, she hates Jeremy. She don't hate Holly. She has me clear on realizing that Holly helped do this. You know, why, I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand what's going through Holly's mind to make her do these things. I don't know. You know, if me going to jail for a couple years would make Holly come back to normal and get her kids back, I would do it. But that's not going to make it. And that's not going to fix anything. So I don't know something's wrong with Holly right now, too. Something has gone wrong in her head. And I don't know if it's just Jeremy's just got her so screwed up in the head. That's the only thing I can believe because nothing like this ever happened before. You know?
I agree with that, too. Really, I do. I agree with that.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to let you go.
Okay, I will send you those papers, and I'm not trying to hurt Jeremy, you know, and I love Holly. I can't stop crying. I just want her back with her children. I want all this fixed. I want her happy. I want her to see her children. I told her that I would let her see her children anywhere she wanted. I would sit outside. I don't want to babysit her. I don't want to hear their conversations. I'm not trying. I didn't appoint me over them at court. She could go get a different appointed person, and she won't do it. She won't see her children. So
do you think Matt is going to get these babies?
Do what?
Do you think Matt is going to get these babies permanently?
It's in Holly's court. It's Holly's decision. She has to start being honest. She has to get Jeremy therapy. She has to start dealing with reality. And if she thinks she's going to get just Maddie and separate her from Chase, no, I don't think that's going to happen. If she admittedly in court admits that she does not want her son, they're not going to give her her daughter, and they're sure not going to give her both of them. That's her doing.
Jeremy,
I told her, leave Jeremy, just get separated, a legal separation. Y'all can live separately. They can afford it. Get a job. Have Jeremy work on, get some therapy or whatever the courts want him to do. The courts would never say, well, these kids could never be around Jeremy anymore. Because if he's changed, But something in the situation has to change. They don't pull children out of a situation, and then the situation does not change.